getting into the skin of the character is really difficult, especially when you're playing a role in a biopic. So, what was the element of each of your characters that you found most difficult while enacting?
This is the part where you correct him about the biopic.
Okay, so essentially Azhar is not a biopic.
Okay.
Of course, it's a dramatized version of the most important, I think, years of Azhar's life.
Okay.
So yes, the real events are there, but it's sort of, we've taken the liberty of, for cinema, for film, dramatizing it a little. So yes, whatever you followed about, his life and the controversies and all of that you know about,
Yeah.
all of that is there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he sings songs like
That's not how Azhar did it actually. I don't think
Azhar
he sang
sang
Itni Si Baat Nori and Bodh Hona Zara to Sangeeta.
Yeah.
So we have tweaked that bit in the film. But
it's not really a biopic.
yeah, but come back to the question. I forgot the question.
The most difficult element of your character.
I'll say mine.
To look beautiful.
That was so hard. No.
So mean.
To be feminine and elegant.
Nice.
That was
To be
hard.
feminine.
Inspiring.
Those who know me. No, that's very difficult for me.
Yeah.
It's true,
Yeah.
right? And to be proper.
To be proper.
She's quite a. I don't like to use the term tomboy, but you're a bit of a, aggressive
I'm a sailor.
aggressive chick.
I'm a sailor.
But she's playing a very. I wouldn't say petite, but she's playing a very. A glamorous character. I think she pulls that off well.
But very proper.
But ladylike.
Very sophisticated, very
She is,
ladylike.
to a certain extent, but sometimes she can be
It's
quite
in there
a
in me,
guy.
but it's all the way.
Some of the guy's voice comes
Yes,
out.
yes.
That's Nargis's real voice.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So, the difficult element in your character?
Yeah, everything was difficult in this character, from getting the nuances, the walk, small things in his body language. The cricket bits were the most difficult because I don't come close to the way Mohammad Azharuddin plays cricket. And his flick shot, I'm more of an offside player, and I had to tweak the entire game towards the leg side, which was so difficult. But he was on board, he was with us on this film, and he really helped us out. And I think what the most crucial thing was, what was the portions, which portions could we take the cinematic liberty to bring in the additional drama. If you meet Azhar, and if you've seen his interviews, it's very stoic, that doesn't really show too much emotion in his interviews. And that's what I had way before. And even if you meet him personally, it doesn't really show too much emotion. So in this film, we had to dramatize bits. I've cried in the film in places. And this is the toughest call, where we can use that cinematic liberty in which bits of the film.
Prachi?
I think the toughest part for me was, so Noreen was actually 16 when she married Azhar, and this was in the late 80s. I obviously don't know what life must have been like back then, in Hyderabad and coming from a conservative family. Also a girl who has not had so much of an exposure in life as such. So I think that was sort of, because I haven't really lived through that period. I think that was the toughest part for me, to imagine what life must have been like back then.
As you said, Azharuddin was on board. So how did you guys do your research? Because he had Azhar to guide him at least a little bit, this you can do like this. But how did you guys research, Prachi?
I first tried to Google Noreen. And I found absolutely nothing. She's a very private person. There's absolutely no information available about her. So I think all the information I got was from our director Tony. Of course, his source was Azhar himself and their son Abbas. But no, there was very limited information that I actually had, that I got. But I think I was really lucky that I got these real pictures from Noreen, and those I think pictures really can tell a whole story. So the images, I think with the images I could connect a little bit with Noreen, because until then there was no face to her. But I did get a chance to meet her. It was only after I actually met her that everything fell into place for me. Before that, it was just my imagination and me trying to figure out what Noreen must have been like.
What about you, Nargis?
For me, I didn't get to meet my character in real life, but I guess I relied on Tony, the director, and they gave me films to watch. Then, of course, you do have Google, so you can Google things, and because this person was in the public eye, you can find a lot of things on the internet. So with all of that, used all of that to create the character.
You're creeping me out.
Imran, how is it working with, taking guidance from Azhar himself for the role?
You know, we didn't have access to him when we started scripting for the film, and I would obviously at that point wanted him very early on, but nothing was lost. I think after 4 months of writing the script out, he said yes to the film. Then we were looking for a coach for cricket to train me, and he said that I'll train Imran. And we were a bit apprehensive, not in the sense that we didn't want him to train me, but I was like, at least let me tweak the game till I learn the style. But he actually came from the first day of training, which was, a big thanks to him. And really, the way I got down to learning stuff in 3 months is all thanks to Azhar bhai. And he was always available. He was a phone call away if he was in Hyderabad or Delhi. So I was constantly in touch with him when I had questions. Because sometimes in a particular scene, I wanted to know how Azhar would react to a certain thing. I wanted to know if it played out this way. So Tony and me were constantly in touch with him. He used to always come to Bombay and meet me and Tony. And I had formulated actually 100 questions for him. Where I'd asked him things about his personal life, what went through, in that match fixing phase of his life. And little things that you might not see in the film. For example, in the promo you've seen, and which is also there in the film, of stepping onto the field. I want to know what goes through his mind. What does he actually do? Anything that he has some kind of ritual? So he said that he always places his right foot first in the field, and he says a dua. So I've said that. You might not hear the dua, but it's something he does, and that's in the promo. So these are small things that I've kind of incorporated, and that's thanks to him, because I had access to him.